All right, and we are live. What's going on, everybody? It's Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist, coming at you from lovely San Diego. And today, returning to the airwaves after a couple of weeks in Korea for reserve duty. Definitely a challenging time. As many of you know, I caught COVID on day 2 and was out for about 5 days. Fever, chills, coughing, headaches, just every awful thing it felt like that could happen to me. But I recovered, did okay at the exercise, had a pretty good time. I'm really happy I got to learn my job on a more deep level. Worked with some great people, some active duty and Korean counterparts. Overall, it's a good time. And I'm just always glad to be able to serve in reserve capacity and share my expertise and my knowledge. It's military service is something that's very special to me. And for those of you out there that have served or are serving right now, I applaud you for doing something that not everyone wants to do. But just happy to be home. It was a brutal flight back, several flights. I flew to Detroit, had a short layover, and then flew home. Screaming kids, uncomfortable seats, the works. Very grateful, though. The airlines had very professional crews and did the best they could with a very tough job. I would not want to be a flight attendant or a pilot or any of that shit. I wouldn't want anything to do ever in the airline industry. Just dealing with the general public is rough. So I applaud them. And thank you, Delta, for making it a good time, Korean Air. It was wildly uncomfortable, but I mean, that's just the nature of airline seats, right? I had almost no sleep coming home, and I think it was 26, 27 hours of travel. Just a rough go of it. And I'm still at a point where I'm sleeping kind of oddly, and I made a decision today to just, if I need to sleep, stop trying to fight it, because I'm jet lagged, and I was working night shift when I was over there. And it just kind of messes with your circadian rhythms in like 3 different ways. So slept a full night last night, which was great. Took a long nap today on my couch, and I'll tell you, I blacked out. I was gone, and it was incredible. So I'm still kind of figuring out what my rhythm should be. I hit the gym, and I'm back working for client stuff, and of course taking care of my grandmother. So that pretty much catches you guys up as to everything that's going on in my life. So let's celebrate a victory. But before we do it, let's give a shout out really quick to our sponsors. Dana Incarnation, author of Tinker's Affliction. If you haven't checked this out, it's available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon. It's a spectacular book about the paranormal. Tinker is a young female genius who is aging out of foster care, and at the very last moment is picked up and adopted by a family who has their own supernatural secrets. And it's a great read for summer. Spectacular story. There's some romance, there's paranormal stuff, there's teen angst, there's love, and of course family issues. It's a spectacular book. Pick it up, Tinker's Affliction. So the news I got today, I had to go back and forth with a couple of emails, but very happy to report that I landed my 26th client on TV. 26. And Mike Peterson and his daughter Daisy are going to be going to the Fox 13 studios in Utah, giving a live demonstration of his knives. Mike has been a sponsor for a long time and a client, and I'm very glad to get this news. So this is some of Mike's handiwork at mikesdamascusknives.com. You can check it out. He even engraved my rank and my name on here. Beautiful custom handle and the Damascus pattern popped right into it, and then a sheath that Mike's mother made. Thank you, Mike's mother. And then he made me this awesome tactical knife with the Air Force insignia on it. How awesome is that? check out this bad boy. And it's got my name and my and USAF and my rank. So, anywho, it's very important to stay patient in the news application game. So, I have been pitching Mike, no joke, for months. And I'm talking multi-state media campaigns, like sending out custom pitches. Hey, this is Mike's story. He's training his daughter to be a blacksmith. This is what he's gone through, what he does. He was on Forged in Fire, just the whole nine. And having gotten 26 people on TV, here are two of the most important things you need to think about if it interests you, if you want to get your business on TV or yourself on TV or whatever. The very first thing to think about is come up with a strong angle. And the reason that people hire me is because I'm a pretty good craftsman where I can look at somebody and I can figure out an interesting media angle that makes them newsworthy. It's not enough to just reach out and just say, hey, put me on TV. I have a business. No. You got to have a reason. You got to be a subject matter expert. You got to, maybe you're a veteran. Maybe you had an interesting story. Maybe you can do a demonstration live in studio. There's a lot of things that make you newsworthy, but too many people don't really apply the creativity they need in order to come up with a good angle. That's why they come to me, because I have like 7 pre-made angles ready to go that I can apply to people and find the one that's most aligned with their business model. The second thing you need to think of is your pitch and how you're going to pitch. What's up, Mike? Just gave a big shout out to you, and I showed off your knives, let people know about your win. Super excited for you, buddy. That's the best news I can ever give someone, and I'm always so happy when I get those messages from the reporters. So the second part is the strength of the pitch and the crafting of the pitch, because most people, from what I've read in PR books, most people are really bad at writing pitches, and reporters get hundreds of pitches a day, and most of them are horribly misspelled, or they're way too long, or they ramble about stuff that is not important to the interview, right? If you get a pitch from me, it's going to be 8 sentences long. It's going to tell the story. It's going to have a catchy headline. It's going to have a couple of photos, contact information, and then previous examples of where I've either done a press release or an article you've been featured in. All of these things are very, very important to the aesthetic look. And another thing to consider is that it is very important that even if you don't get picked up immediately, that you do the work. And what I mean by that is, for example, Mike, I sent to multiple states, and I sent a lot of pitches. If I showed Mike how many stations I've submitted him to, it would blow his freaking mind. And it's not that it was ever a bad story. It's just sometimes it's a crazy news day, or something happens in politics, or some celebrity dies, just something. It's always luck of the draw. PR and marketing are both very unpredictable, and so it's always important that you apply consistency, and eventually you'll break that story and you'll get in there. What's going on, Kev? Kev is the guy that introduced me, and Mike. And he is a good friend, and Kevin's always been a supporter and has done amazing things. Really grateful for having him in my life. We got Frank Manto from Crayons Ready to Eat. What's up, Frank? Just landed my 26th client on the news. So understand something, guys. When I'm sending out these media pitches, sometimes they're going to be a slow delayed fuse is the way to think of it. They're in the queue. They're sitting there, the fuse is lit, but it's just burning very, very slow. Because I've had people come back like weeks or months later and like, hey, I love this story. Sorry to get back to you. What can we do with this? Because sometimes they have like a flunky or an intern like reading the submissions, and it doesn't get seen in a while, or it just sits at the bottom of an inbox or a spam filter, and it just stagnates for a long time. But I've had both ranges to where, yeah, Kevin, yeah, that's exactly how to look at it. I've had CBS dispatch a camera crew to an event the next day without telling me. And then I've also had, I've sent out with Marshall Tarrant, especially, like I made a list of 10 or 20 of the largest markets in the country, and I pitched him to all 4 stations in every city, like the largest cities, and didn't get anything. It was a good pitch too. And you just never know, but it's important that you do the work and you do have that pitch in that inbox. One time I got really pissed off. I was just very motivated one day. And I think it was one of my last days in Humboldt County. And I just spent 1 hour hard focus about Brian Big Country Conwell. And I got him 2 TV interviews in 60 minutes. I think I was pissed off at somebody on Reddit who said that pitching journalists was a waste of time. And so in 1 hour, 2 interviews for Brian. He was super happy. I was too. It was great seeing him on TV. And one of them was out of state. So some things we can derive from this that might be helpful. You absolutely can pitch out of state. Always try and start with local area and just make a concentric ring that expands slowly. Smaller markets are far more likely to pick up a story than large markets. So for example, I got my client on a Nebraska TV station that was out of his city, but in his state and area a lot faster than, say, I could get somebody in San Francisco or San Diego or Dallas, one of the larger markets. The larger markets have a lot more submissions, obviously, and their standard and their criteria is a lot more stringent. I have successfully gotten someone in San Diego, but I did know the journalist, so it's like a half win. Kevin said I landed 2 new sites to build over the holiday weekend. Grind doesn't stop. Yeah, brother. I just got back into work today, and I had to take a long ass nap and go to the coffee shop and just write down everything that's going on. But I had a couple of really big wins today, especially for my grandmother. Thank God. I'm just so fucking tired. both tired in the long run sense of things, and tired in the physically exhausted sense of things. So catching up. But yeah, Mike, I'm happy about you and Daisy. And there's a couple ways you can leverage this. So initially, Mike is going to get a bunch of traffic to his website, but then once the news interview is over, guess what he can do? He can send it out to his email list. He can send it out all over social media that he wants. He can publicly thank me and tell people, hey, work with Rob the Warrior Strategist. Because since Mike and I were working together, Shift Magazine, Knife Magazine, Fox 13, and I think there's been 1 or 2 others. And then I partnered him up with Sean Kanan as well. And more to follow, brother. Mike's always been a great guy. He comes to my calls, a good friend. Daisy's like the funniest teenager I've ever seen. She's just such a character. So here's what to do after you get on the news. Oh, pardon me. You'll want to get the link that they upload it to. So, and it's usually just the station URL, and you search your name, search your interview. They're going to give you a link, and then take screenshots. So it's always helpful if you have a screenshot of you, and when they put your name up. So if it says like Mike Peterson, CEO, Mike's Damascus Knives, blah, 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 and then a picture of you, and you're trying to screen grab it. So you're not like, because when I do screen grabs, either my eyes are closed or my tongue is out, or I just look far stupider than I do in real life. So you want to get a screen grab that's reasonable. And then once you have that screen grab, you can go into Canva and you can add letters to it. So glad I got on Fox 13, or thank you, Fox 13. And make sure that you're hashtagging them, maybe @mention the reporter so they see it. Give them a big shout out, big thanks. And then you can pop it out on Facebook. You can pop it on Facebook stories. You can do a live talk about it. You can, put it on Twitter, LinkedIn, everything. So when I have a client that gets on the news, bet your ass, I'm going to grab a screen grab. I'm going to make a little mini story about it. And then I'm going to pop that to every freaking social media site I'm on. It's good social proof. It's good social media. And guess what? As featured on, so now you can go as featured on Fox 13, as featured in Shift Magazine, as featured in Knife Magazine, viral Reddit article. pretty sure I got Mike one that was over 50,000 views. And actually, if I was really smart and I need to remember this, I would take the link to the interview and pop it into the Knives subreddit. And maybe I'll do that this week. Because we all know the knife guys are so friendly and supportive. Mike is laughing right now. He's just like Ted Fox dealing with the Pontiac guys. He's just like, why are there so many assholes? It's all right. I'm just the same way with PR people. A lot of them. Oh, a little bit delirious, so you guys got to bear with me. But yeah, just a huge win. So just remember, guys, patience is everything. You know, like I said, with the PR stuff, sometimes it's a slow burning fuse. Because I probably pitched Mike in May or February. Like it was a while because there was a time when I was so pissed off that they weren't running the story that I was just pitching all kinds of states, all kinds of stations just out of spite. I was just like, I am getting this fucking guy on TV no matter what I have to do. And finally paid off. And I'm just very grateful for Fox 13 for reaching out. Tiffany, thank you so much. It's worth the wait though. TV is just about the greatest thing you can do from a PR standpoint for a win. And I'm really happy. I've been on TV, I think 3 times, and it's always been a good thing for several reasons. But anyway, Mike, you're going to be great. Don't be nervous. Just think about your talking points, and they'll guide you through it. They'll ask you like normal questions, and they'll probably have a person to prep you before you camera comes on. I'm just happy for you. And Mike, thank you again for being flexible and for jumping on this. Like that is rule number 1 in the PR and media game. Is Mike immediately he was like, yeah, let's do this. And you have to. You don't get a lot of chances for TV. You don't. So this is a huge win. I appreciate Mike's flexibility and his patience. But yeah, we're going to all turn this into a victory. It's going to be a victory for me as far as my client roster. And it's going to be a victory for Mike. And this will be definitely a step up for getting a lot more people seeing. And yeah, it's perfectly normal for Daisy to be nervous, especially at her age. And just tell her to speak slow and to think about what she's going to say and just to relax. It'll go by really quick. But yeah, I've done TV. It's a little nerve wracking at first, but then you kind of get in the flow and you're okay. And then then all your friends get to make fun of you. All right, that's all I got for tonight, guys. But just want to say congratulations, Mike. I'm so happy for you. There's a part of my job that I freaking love, getting people on TV. I think it might be the most fulfilling thing next to articles. All right, that's all I got. Hopefully, you got some ideas about this, about getting your own business on TV, some guidelines. And if you guys ever have any questions or need press releases or help getting on TV, feel free to hit me up in my inbox. I'm Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist. And as always, stay famous. See you next time.